Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Total War Rome 2 Divide et Impera as Rome. We're picking up right where we left off at the end of the previous episode, as per usual. After Lucius Libo's cunning victory at the settlement of Acragas, of course we chose to tactically attack it, while we noticed that the Carthaginian fleet was moored in the port. They got drawn into the battle, they got cut down, and now the Carthaginian fleet in and around Sicily is no more. Our fleet is now coming up around the rear, and we should be able to secure naval dominance in the region. But what is this, you may ask? Well, that's just a transport fleet. It looks like troops were being ferried across to the island en route, and perhaps now they're going to turn back to Carthage now that basically we've taken this region. They could circle around, go to Panormus, they could go up to Corrales. We don't know what they're going to do, but we do know one thing: we should be able to defend if they go for Lucius Libo himself. We are licking our wounds a little bit, about 70% strength I would say, maybe 65. Given some of the casualties that we've suffered for some of the levies, but generally speaking we're in a pretty good position, especially with the fleet. Once that gets around here, we should be able to cut these guys down easily if we have a problem. Now, I just wanted to mention one thing before we get into before I end the turn and get going, which is I was having a look around at some of the characters and some of the traits and things, because we did take on this extra character in the previous episode. So we took on Quincia, let's just call her that, Quinn. Anyway, we got her married, so we have Agrippa here. Gnaeus Sergius Agrippa, and I was like, oh yeah, I should give him some stuff, and we probably will in the future. But more importantly, I was noticing the political screen. We're up to 8 pips. I always say 8, I always think it's 10, but it's not. 6, sorry, so 6 out of 8, which is exactly where we want to be. But little worried that if we push a little too far, we'll start getting a bunch of negatives, namely the top one there, -8 public order and a negative to research. Taxes will be nice and upkeep costs are reduced and everything, that's great, but I really don't want that public order hit. There's no public order hit at the moment, and a -8 is pretty significant to go from 0 to 8. So what we need to do is start investing in our other families, making sure that these characters here start winning some battles. Or really, it's any of the characters on the left side here. And I'm after just thickening our own families. So it might be time to start investing some of the money in securing promotions and just make sure that we're keeping up. Unfortunately, there's no real clear metric as to how much are they contributing to this, to each of their share of the pie. All we can go by is the influence they currently have, the ambition of the men there within, and the gravitas that they have. So we're just going to be keeping an eye on that, basically. And, yeah, just trying to bolster them. Now, the good news is the fleet is being led by, let's actually see exactly who this is, just to get the full name. Am I blind? Yeah, I am. Lucius Papirius Cursor. Oh, I feel like we heard, yeah, obviously we know that name, as he's been sat there recruiting for quite a while. Anyway, Cursor, oh, there's his name. I was so blind. Right, anyway, so Cursor here, we're going to be investing in his family a little bit, trying to get him some influence, and maybe giving Lucius a bit of a break for a while. It's great to have such a formidable general constantly gaining. But, you know, like I said, we don't want to invest too heavily. So I just thought I would mention that. People might want to know, like, why am I deciding to fight or not fight with certain characters, and that's kind of why. One other thing I noticed really quickly, he has a professional heckler, which gains him 1 gravitas per turn. So long story short, gravitas is this little symbol here. Gravitas, if you want to very simplify it, this isn't the actual formula, but just imagine gravitas times ambition equals influence on the political spectrum here, okay? So that's basically how it works. So if you have high ambition, you're winning battles, that means you're gaining gravitas, and that's pushing the politics in one favor or another. And we're only pushing it in one direction, really, because we're not really doing anything with the other characters. Now, them just sitting there, if they start to get promoted, you'll see that it says 2 gravitas per turn, 3 gravitas per turn, so on. So if you give them promotions, even if you're not using them in battle, they're kind of steadily pushing the political, I don't know why I'm using the word spectrum, but, you know, they're pushing their party back against ours a little bit. So, yeah, I just thought I would mention that. We actually have an even 50% for influence at the moment. 248 out of 500 senators, so slightly less than 50%. All right, so that's all that covered. So, oh, yeah, so one thing I just noticed here, because we have the heckler that gains the gravitas per turn and 1 cunning, I'm actually just going to switch him out to the one which is a battlefield runner. Orders must get through. 2 authority when leading an army. And that's going to give us 12 authority. Now, authority like that, we're currently on 10, but next turn it'll take effect. That gives us 14% chance of wounding enemy agents in self-defense, so he's pretty good at, you know, resisting assassination. And then 35% to the size of his aura and influence on the battlefield. That's actually really good. I think that affects the range of the abilities he has, like Inspire and Rally, as well as just his general morale aura. So if he's nearby It doesn't have to be quite as close to give people like that morale benefit. Anyway, just thought I would explain all that. I think it's kind of interesting and good to note. Not much else to do. We're quite low on money. We're making 2,600 per turn. If I was just to have a quick look, are we taxing this place? We are. So this will give me an indication. Latium is making 5,200. Magna Graecia is making just about 1,400. We're building a slave trader. We're building an auxiliary camp out there in Sicily. We're changing around the core buildings and removing the barracks down this way. All right. Don't think there's much else to do. I think my spy is needs to be upgraded. I've already decided what we're going to go with. Disruption and furtiveness, and then also this one, reconnaissance. She can also get 1 authority. A Latin panegyrist? Panagerie? Is that right? I have no idea how to say that word. I don't think it's panagerie, but that'd be awesome if it was. Let's just go with that anyway for the extra authority. We'll take it, and we'll leave it at that. All right, let's end the turn.
Look to your gods and pray, for only in them will you now find mercy.
Curious, right? So Maziesli, who are a client state of Carthage that usually I think just have 1, maybe 2 towns somewhere at the back of, in the north of Africa here in Numidia. They've declared war on us. I just think it's interesting because you would have assumed that being a client state that was kind of a given. But now we could have extra armies coming across that we have to worry about. This is the danger with going to war with someone who has multiple client states. Because army, there's an army limit per faction. So you can just have more armies thrown at you constantly. The more people you open yourself up to. Alright, the trade agreement has been dissolved with the Sessatani. These guys are out in Iberia. I assume faction destroyed. Slave riots, that's no good. Slaves are there to serve, but if treated too roughly, they will revolt. Riots have broken out across the province, the slaves taking revenge for their cruel bondage. There will be slaves no more. -15 to servile unrest every year. So, I've done a little research about this. So basically this is a base game feature. The long and short of it is, slaves are a modifier of your income. So if we add up all of the income from the 4 regions here in the Latium province, so you just straight up add all these numbers up, then you add on 79% of that number, then you add on 36% of the original number, which is the slaves, and then you take away 18% of the original number too. So it's not modifying percentages of percentages, they're independent of the original value. But anyway, slaves, we've been adding a lot of slaves to our empire, just generally, our republic, and they're evenly displaced, I think, once you fight a battle. I think with Divide et Impera, this mod, they may actually go nearest to the towns that the battle takes place in, but you have to have taxed the region. Ah, yeah. So maybe they go there behind the scenes, because it does say 22.9%. So they have 22.9. Taurus. Did that just say 30? Yeah, sorry. It says 30. And then we have Latium, which is 36. So unlike the population number, they're not counted towards population. That's a Divide et Impera modded thing. The slave stuff in the game is just the base game. So they're kind of separate that way. So we basically get an increased economic effect at the cost of a reduced public order effect. What I don't know, and I actually reached out to the mod author to ask him, was what's the deal with the slave events? Because I've been reading the Divide et Impera. So basically, if you have this mod installed and you click this button, it takes you to the DEI site. DEI is such a funny loaded term now for some people, but it's just Divide et Impera, obviously. Right, so it takes you to the Divide et Impera site, and there's tons of guides there about all the stuff in the game that's new. And I was reading to try and find out more about slaves, and can we choose where we bring them? You can do different edicts to actually sell slaves, like here. So, you get way more money, but it reduces the population of slaves really quickly, stuff like that. So I was like, oh, is anything else being done? But even the mod author who got back to me, his name's Dresden, by the way. Shout out to Dresden. He said, yeah, it's just a base game mechanic. I'm not really sure how it affects anything, and I'm not sure how much unrest you need to cause a rebellion, a slave rebellion, because they're independent from a public order rebellion. It's like a different thing. Now, it does say slaves -4 here in the public order screen, which we expect because it says it here, so that's fine. But there's a separate underlying unrest mechanic going on for slaves, and he just said that if you bring that number really high, it'll happen, but we don't know what the number is, and he doesn't know, and it's not on display. So I just thought I would take a moment just to explain that and talk about it. The music has gone off, but I need to read events before I can load and reload, so we'll just talk through this. So the Sestani, as expected, have died. Unseasonal conditions, Latium. Early spring, that's a good thing. Household expands. So one of our veterans... Let's actually have a look at that really quickly. He could have a pet snake, which could be good. So our agent details here. Yeah, so it currently has 1 cunning, 10% chance of wounding agents in self-defense and public order. So it's better than what he has, so we'll leave it. Enemy agent army retreats. Enemy army retreats. The enemy's in full retreat, overmatched by your might. Yeah, not seeing much go on down here. So we have enemy transports there, and an enemy fleet there. 2 of the armies have backed off west. 2 of them are staying east. We only saw 3 before, but now there's 4. So our fleet could come around. We can't reach anything really, but we can go for Panormus. I probably should have looked around a bit more, actually. We've seen Epirus moving, but this is the plan. We'll just hold on to the blockade there for a moment, and then we'll bring up our army to take that. They shouldn't be able to get to me with anything they have, so I'm not worried. I suppose their fleet could get into Akragas if we moved our army there, but we could probably just free up our fleet and bring it back around. Anyways, we'll get to that in a moment. Oh, the music is played again. That's good. Oh, so maybe we can trigger it by going in and out of a battle. Anyways, right, so I've also noticed, like I said, the Epirot army has disembarked from Apollonia. They were there just at the end of the last turn. They're actually recruiting now. And this one is moving, looks like they're moving south, which is interesting. So we freed up our fleet from here, and now they've disembarked, which is kind of what we expected. Now, if they move a decent distance away, I would just be comfortable crossing with my army. In fact, I think we should start recruiting with these guys. We've got a little bit of space. So we could go with some of the... Is the barracks done yet? Oh, not till next turn. Maybe we'll wait till next turn then for the auxiliary camp, because then we can get some unique units. That being said, what I really want is the Brutian infantry. These guys are absolute beasts. They're basically like an early form of what you kind of consider traditional legionary. They come from the southern extremity of Italy. These Brutian troops are dependable medium infantry. They carry 2 pila, which they throw before engaging in close combat with their swords. They are well armored with a variety of bronze pectorals, typically of the Oscan. Actually, it's hard to see. Yeah, I think it's a C, not an E, right? Oscan warrior class. I've just never heard of Oscan. Anyway, their helmets show Greek and Italic influence, known as Italo-Attic. They fought for Pyrrhus during the invasion of Italy. Well, they're going to fight for me now. And they come from the Peregrini. That'll be our foreigner class. So we'll just get 4 of those. That'll be really good infantry to get on board. We don't have any cavalry, though, really. But with a little bit more money next turn, we'll get 1 final local cavalry unit, maybe. And maybe we can disband something else. Maybe 2 units would be good. And then we'll consider our approach. Awesome. Right, so let's just go through our slaves. Slaves? Jeez. I had slaves on the mind from up there. Let's go through our agents. And we'll just make sure they're okay. You're not deployed for some reason. Let's redeploy him. Money just went back up. The fleet is ready to attack. Alright, I think we're just ready to do our little attack then. So I'm going to move Libo here up to the battlefield. Now, as mentioned, if we auto-resolve with him, he gets the kind of main experience and bonuses, but if we go with the fleet, hopefully they get the majority of the gravitas and everything politically. They get the victory, as it were. So we'll auto-resolve the results. Ooh, actually, just thinking about it though, I don't think the fleet would be free to move. So I'm actually going to go with him, because we want this fleet to immediately be able to come around here. Otherwise, their fleet will just sneak in, and we don't want that. Because the garrison is going to be very, very weak here. Yeah, it's literally like 200 men, so even their fleet could probably beat them. Especially if they just quickly grabbed mercenaries or something. So, reluctantly, I'll go again with Libo here, the conqueror of Sicily. We'll auto-resolve it because it's quite in my favor, and we'll just go with... Interestingly, the protective stance will be very negative for our forces. We'll go with balanced. Even though it's a percentage less on how much you lose, it'll probably damage less units overall. Like an aggressive stance might see your cavalry die, but no unit has been lost here, so that's what we want to see. We could loot it for 9,000. I think we'll just occupy, just to keep the public order happy. Commander. Right, Libo, good job. Can you move? No, but you can. Ooh, yeah, you're close to this area, but that should be okay for then. I think we'll be safe enough. So we'll rotate our fleet around. Good job, Papirius. Good job indeed. Did he level up or anything? Troubled populace, hidden agent exposed. Household expands for Libo, a one-eyed veteran. There's this bloke from Rhodes who's really nifty with a stone. Did they say bloke back then? 4% shots per minute, 2 authority, 4 morale for the commander's unit. Let's quickly have a look at applying that. So it's in the bottom left category. We're currently getting 1 authority, 8 melee attack skill for all cavalry and defense. Shots per minute for all units. 2 authority. So it's better. Excuse me, for authority. Yeah, let's go with that then. Sure, why not? One-eyed veteran. He'll have 13 authority then. Province under control. You've seized control of the entire province. This will boost its economic and military potential, and you may now issue local edicts. Indeed. So, these guys are 58% Latin. These are 63%. We can turn off our Romanization. -1 building construction time. Huh. Didn't recall that. Anyway, we'll turn that off. And we'll activate one down here. We only have 2 available, so we can only enact them based on that limit. So yeah, Romanization. So reducing the building construction time, reducing the recruitment cost for auxiliary units, which is awesome, and then converting the culture in a faster fashion. Love it. Love it all. Right, so we just gained Panormus. We'll switch it to Roman Village. We'll start to remove these naval buildings now and get rid of another barracks that's here. So that can all be changed and redeveloped. So we've got a construction site here, which is kind of interesting because if left alone, I think for more than 2 turns, it turns into slums. And that drains food and causes public order problems. But I'm not entirely sure. It could be faster than that. So actually, I'm going to cancel building this. We'll keep the money and we'll go with this instead. The industrialized farms, gaining grain, livestock, income from farms as a modifier to the entire province, which is awesome. I was looking for that in the previous episode, I think. Because this is going to be farming region 101, basically. Like, central. Which is great as well, because what we can also do here, when we get a bit more money, is get the grain pits. And the grain pits, for ourselves, boost army replenishment, boost the population in the region, and they extend supply multiple regions over. So with a grain pit, we should be able to invade Carthage if we wished, and have supply over there. Something I haven't even talked about at all, because we haven't had to worry about it, is supply. So if we have a look at this little hover tooltip thing here, it says army supply. The local supply available is 420, and regional foraging is -29. So having an army in the region means that they're locally foraging for food, and they're draining supply. So just think of supply as a number on a region, not a province, but a region. So let's say it's like 300. And if your army just sits there eating up all the food, it just keeps depleting and depleting and depleting. It will come back, but typically quite slowly, and it's seasonal dependent. So if we have a look at maybe spring, it doesn't actually say. It'll probably say in the actual supply counter why it's gaining and when it isn't. But at the moment, it's not gaining, interestingly. And there is also a cap. So you basically have a storage amount, which can be improved by building, I think, grain pits, but also the yellow building chain in the center here. You can't actually look in the building browser in this game unless you've got one built. So this is the one, supply complex. So let's see, just somewhere down the bottom it'll probably say supply storage 200 near the very bottom, and then supply line +3 regions. Anyways, so the whole point is, if I was to just go, you know what, I'm going to pack up on boats, we're going to go all the way down to Egypt and land and start attacking, our armies would just start dying due to attrition. They would not be able to get enough food. Now, if it was summertime, and a region like the Nile actually might be agriculturally rich, where they could forage, but if there was 2 or 3 armies, there's no way. You know, they'd all just start to die. And then winter rolls around, supplies run out, they die. So what you have to do is, on your navy, you can recruit a supply ship. And once that's full, I think you bring it with you, basically, and you can have it alongside the coast, supplying the army as you go. But you have to have it nearby. So it's really cool. These are all modded features. It's a really cool idea. I love what they've tried to do with it. It's still, it's a bit finicky. You have to work around, like, supplies just getting extended region over region. But I love the intent, and the kind of immersion of it. So just thought I would touch on that, because we haven't had to really think about it too much. Newly captured regional bonuses in Panormus. Now, another thing in DEI is that every region, not every region, but almost every region has unique benefits. So Panormus here. Let's see. Between Acragas and Panormus, I'm not really seeing any difference. And then we have the region of Syracuse, which does have global benefits. 3% income from trade faction-wide and increased trade potential just generally. So not seeing anything too crazy between these two. These are basically the same. One's for fishing, one's for grain. So they'll be great for agriculture. Settlement captured, obviously, so that's good. All right, cool. Not much else to look at or do. I know I'm waffling on a lot and not playing too much, but one other thing I think is important, because we do have a few people watching that actually say they have never played the game before, so I think it's worthwhile mentioning, and also stuff I've just learned myself recently. If you have a look at a character like Libo, I just recently learned, I'll show you how I learned it actually. I clicked this town, I was looking at this building, and on the left-hand side it says, let's see if I can find it. I can't find it. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to look at the library. This one. In yellow text, allows for the improvement of the intellectual character trait and helps prevent it from decreasing. So I was like, huh, interesting. Back in Total War Rome 1, one of the cool things in that game was if you put a general in a town and you built like an academy, he would get traits over time that was like intellectual, better strategist, those kind of things. They would just like learn things over time. It's kind of random though. I guess this is mimicking that style of thinking. So I was like, but I don't understand. Like, what kind of traits would they get? So I looked into the character panel a little bit more. So this guy has been sitting in this region for quite a while. So let's take a look at him. So there he is on the left there. So he's a military tribune at the moment. That's his rank on his career. Military tribune, work way up from Caster to Aedile, Praetor. Praetor again, I guess maybe more advanced. Consul, proconsul, and then censor. Now, the interesting thing here was there's 3 traits on the bottom. And in the yellow text, it actually tells you that they are a type. And I think I was loosely familiar with this, but now I do get it. So these are 3 types of traits that never change, right? This is always the intellectual, the commander, and the brawler. So then it's just a degree of how good they are or bad they are. And it can go up or down based on certain things. It's kind of hard to see the tooltip because of the green and red text. But in order to bring up the scrapper trait, you can have low bodyguard casualties, lots of victories, and depending on their age. So as they get older, they might be naturally inclined to level it up anyway. And then to bring it down, high bodyguard casualties. On the intellectual side of things, it says you can bring it up by having good public order in the region, having good libraries, or having libraries, having skills, certain skills, and then their age. And then it goes down if you've got low public order. So it's kind of interesting, right? You know, he's in a region with low public order, but it is gaining. And then the library's been built. So now he's going to be improving that trait, you know, if he's there for a while anyway. Sorry, I keep clicking the wrong button. So I just thought it was interesting, right? He is erudite, a promising pupil. He should seek out academies. And then his military trait is clueless, but learning. He's a deputy at the moment. But if we look by stark comparison, how about Libo then, right? We know that unlike this guy who's been sitting there learning in his books like a big dork, we know that Libo's been out there fighting battles and getting the job done. So let's have a look at what he's got. So he is a student. Stay silent and listen. So I imagine that's like almost as low down as you go. So public order, governor skills, age, that's how we bring it up. But his commander skill is he's a clever strategist. Tricks and tactics win the day. And that's reduced the upkeep for his units, increased their morale, their ammunition, their campaign map movement range, and it's given some extra cunning. So I love it. I think it's really, really cool that you can actually have these kind of scaling traits like that. To fit it into a system like this, quite done in a clever way, I think. Because in later Total War games, through demand, basically they've reintroduced this concept. And you'd sort of actually see the bar of how like far to the right or far to the left of the bar you are, the better you get or the worse you are. And then, yeah, because he hasn't actually fought that much, but if we keep his bodyguard casualties down, he'll actually become a better fighter. Little counterintuitive in some ways, because you'd imagine that we could just leave him at the back of a battle and he's kind of being considered a better fighter, even though he's not really getting in there. You'd almost wish it would say like high unit kill count or experience maybe, but maybe they couldn't tie that in. I don't know. Anyway, I've gone on long enough, but I'm just interested in all these mechanics. You know, I'm always interested in game design. I long for making my own Roman strategy game one day, and I'd love it to be like quite realistic and also in real time and have borders that are like dynamic and stuff. I've got all these like ideas of how I'd love to do it, and seeing things like that with supply and the skills that go up and down and the politics of it all. I love it. You know, those are things I'd like to kind of implement on a grander scale one day. Who knows? Getting good experience on the Manor Lords team now, that's for sure. Maybe I'll pitch it to Greg, huh? See if he'll help me make it. Alright, I'll leave it there. I don't think there's anything else to do for this turn. And I don't think diplomatically there's much that needs to change. Although I have noticed we do not have many friends anymore. In fact, we've really only got 2. We've got good trading partners, but they're becoming weary of us. We're not giving them gifts. We're not keeping them happy. What you can also do, another thing that I'll probably do with some of these people, is get them married so we get more characters in there, and then send the wives as diplomats to these various places to try to improve relations. As we do that, they level up, and that lowers empire maintenance. As we mentioned earlier, when talking about provincial income, our empire maintenance is actually really high. 21% is kind of insane for where we're at in the game. I mean, things are all balanced differently, but in a normal game of Rome 2, you would not hit like 20% until you had like 50 settlements or something like that, like maybe 40. So to be at like 10 and hitting that, it's like, oh my god, we're just losing 21% of all our income. After it's modified, I guess, greatly. But yeah, it's just something to kind of think about and worry about. Why is our taxes at 95, by the way? What's up with that? And it's at 30 down here. No, Rome must have unique benefits to give us taxes. Civil administration. Oh yeah, we are boosting it with the with him. Anyway, I guess we could go into that for it forever. Let's just end the turn and progress now a little bit quicker. Interesting. Carthage have lost Lilybaeon. So, Panormus, Lilybaeon, I guess, would be the name of the town for them. Carthaginian forces were decisively beaten in Lilybaeon. The Carthaginians have lost their foothold on the island and reorganized their defense near Carthage's coastline, only a small journey away from Lilybaeon. It's all true. Ooh, 6,000 treasury for completing... Oh yeah, I forgot this. Of course, we had to contain, or complete 3 provinces completely. Occupy 3 provinces completely, and we've done that. We have exactly 3 provinces. So we just got a cash injection of 6 grand. Love it. New objective. Chapter 2. CV Pacem para Bellum. If you wish for peace, prepare for war. Your endeavors will not go unopposed. Prepare for the inevitable. Raise your forces capable of conquering your enemies and protecting your people. Maintain 60 units in total, and we'll get 7,000. Where's all this money hiding? It's just Senate Treasury, I guess. So yeah, that's a nice little cash injection. We have to kind of think about what we want to do with this. And also, look who's stopping by. We have a... Oh, that's not the fleet. That's another set of transports. There are 2 lots of transports. Oh my god. Dude, we're just going to go out and absolutely cut them down with our fleet. That's going to be super easy. We'll do that in a moment. Now, this is where things are getting a bit more interesting. This is why naval dominance is so important, actually. Because they don't really seem to have a fleet that we can see right now. Who knows? Maybe one out there. Maybe they're building one. But we do see 4 armies. 5, actually, now that we count Sicily. That's a lot. You know, that's a lot for poor Libo to deal with, and he still can't replenish. And the same with our fleet, actually, isn't replenishing. But we can stop them coming over consistently with our fleet. Now, where is Epirus? That is also interesting. So Epirus have gone from around here, circled into the bay. Now, they can't land on the cliffs. They can only land on beachheads, right? So they're not going to be going to Cassentia anytime soon. Not that far from it, I suppose. But, more importantly... Oh my god... Can we reach that? I think we can. If I could go over there this turn and take this, we could Klein state them, and then this army would be redirected to going down and fighting Carthage. Interesting things. All right, so a lot of interesting stuff at our fingertips now. All right, so war declared. Innisubris and Massalia. Interesting. So the guys to our north are fighting Massalia. Secretly, I would actually kind of like them to beat Massalia, or at least stay stun-locked for a while. Keep the attention off us. The good thing is, these are our trading partners, so we can be like, how dare you? How dare you? Now, are we trading with them? No. So that's not good, right? They're gone into the negative now with us. We're not going to like... Yeah, treaties with Massalia, -13, exactly. Alright, good. We're not quite ready for opening up a new army in the north. I mean, we've got good money, but not good income. Construction report. Our slave trader and auxiliary camp have been built. That's in Taurus and Cassentia, respectively, but either way, it's in Magna Graecia. Household is expanded. We got a new battlefield runner for Decimus Junius Brutus. If we wish to equip that, it would be down here, right? We saw them before. So these are separate... Are these separate households? than our other generals? That's one thing I don't know. Either way, it looks the same. 2 authority when leading an army. We're currently using things that reduce costs. Oh my god, -8 building costs. That's pretty good, actually. We should give that to the general sitting in Rome. Yeah, so we'll take on something a bit more battle-focused. So the battlefield runner, I guess. Although he's not going to be here till next turn. And then this one, 8% melee attack for all cavalry units and authority. Melee attack for all sword units. We just took on the Brutian infantry, so let's give them the Grizzled Centurion. I volunteered to lead the right flank, sir. And the right flank, lead you shall. We'll put the Brutian infantry there. Alright, cool. So we've got Libo. That's fine, we don't have to worry about that. Quartermaster report, we have our Brutian infantry. They're ready to go. We can hop across right now. Unhappy populace in Sicily, they'll be happy soon. New edict in Sicily, that's all good. And then hidden agent exposed, Abi Babel, which is right there. We keep seeing her. Now, 19% chance of success of misdirection. It's not worth trying it. She's 3-star, we're 3-star. You need to be significantly above them to really have a chance. Alright, I'm after getting a very important message, so I'm just going to pause for a moment and then we'll pick up in just a sec. Alright, apologies for that. We're trying to purchase our first property and it's just really hectic, constantly people calling us at all random times or messaging us very important things, so I was just trying to get on top of that. Nothing's set in stone though yet, so we really don't know, but we've put in an offer, so it's kind of exciting. Alright, anyways, yeah, so I think we'll go for the fleet first, and then we'll deal with what's going on over there at Epirus. So, yep, let's just sally out. The Tusks of Destiny. Can we get, any mercs? No. Alright, let's go. Wow, I would have thought they'd move away, and I would have thought the balance of power would be way more in our favor. So we've got a fleet, we've got ramming speed, we have our level 1 hulls. They are just mere transports. They should go down very easily, I think, indeed. Alright, so we just have the 3 enemy ships ahead of us. I'll try to make this kind of quick. Pull our fleet back. I'll try to zoom in a bit more as well, because we haven't really been looking at our troops in too much detail lately. Kind of waiting for the first reform level, if I'll be completely honest, but we'll have a bit more of a slowdown and zoom in every now and then. Right, so the bulk of our fleet is made up of raiding Hemiolas. So basically these are Levy Marines. A Hemiola is a light and fast raiding ship with 1.5 files of oars. Ship health, 420. Ship speed, 5. The other ship we have has a ship health of 525 and a ship speed of 4. So that's really all the information we're given in terms of, like, you know, the bigger the ship, the stronger the ram, basically. And the more ship health. So, we have our 4 assault ships, but these 2 are heavily damaged. You know, a couple bits of javelins that hit them with some archer fire, and they'll just be scared to death and run away. So we don't want that. We'll keep them at the back. We'll go with 4 of these guys. I reckon 2 for each ship that we're looking at. So we'll go 2 there. I guess that means 6, right? So 2 down the middle, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then we'll just flank again with ships out either side. We'll keep our bulk, our stronger ships here in the middle. My general ship further back, keep them protected, and then like some reserves on either side. And let's try that. Let's see how we go with that. Let's get a quick look at the boys as they roll out. Actually, I should give the order, and then we'll have a look. The other ships are coming in right away, actually. We can have a look at that in the distance.
Our foes are insolent to stand against us, the might of Rome. Have they no sense?
Oh, there's Cursor. We can actually see him. And his receding hairline. I'm allowed to say that. I'm bald myself. Looking good, man. Looking damn good. All right. Ooh, they're turning.
Assault ships ready for orders.
And so shall we. Right, so we'll just give them the order right now. Actually, you know what? Gotta pause it. There's something very worth mentioning. For those who are not familiar with this game, this game is buggy as all hell, and it always will be, and it always has been, to varying degrees. But one of the bugs that's remaining in naval battles right now is, if we right-click to go forward, we'll go forward at full speed. That's great. If we click behind us, if I click here, the ship will turn and then go back. However, if I was to click just right behind the ship, about there, or maybe as much as here, they will attempt to row backwards. So instead of turning sideways and being very vulnerable, they'll actually row backwards. In the next game, Total War Attila, which is basically like an expansion for this game, they added a graphical overlay, so you actually know there's like a radius in which you can click, so you know exactly how far before it's a turnaround or a reverse maneuver. Now, if you go backwards, let's say I do that, and then I tell them to attack, you'll see this nice red line. We've got confirmation that the attack order is happening, but what's going to happen with this ship? They will just continuously roll backwards because their forward vector is reversed and the game never compensated for it, so they will just forever go backwards. So what you'll often see me doing is doing lots of micro clicks in and around these ships, and I just thought if anyone's ever wondering why, it's to get ahead of the bugs, but also just to make sure I'm doing little row backwards and things like that. So with that information, let's just resume. I'll just try to get the ship back to where it was supposed to go, which was there. Right, and we'll let things play. Alright, so these guys have the order. These guys can go there. And we can do little row hard for 10 seconds.
Support ships at your command.
And we'll keep moving forward with these guys as well. Now, I don't really know what's going to happen if we try to hit these guys in the back. Firing javelins into their backs, which is, I guess, kind of good. You know what? You guys could probably hold your fire for a little bit. We're trying to ram them, not necessarily,
At your command.
Keep going.
Support ships, sons of Mars. At your command. Ships ready.
Let's get these guys to turn in instead.
Mandata to
That one over there might get away. Actually, you go this way.
ready for duty.
That's the general, actually.
Support
Pull back.
ships ready and waiting.
That one's gone down. That's great.
Commander, give way.
That ship's gone down. That's great.
Support ships
Let's turn
ready
and try to get that. Oh, he's down as well. Okay, cool. So now we need to reform. Let's get the hell out of here. Oh my god, please just go back.
Our missiles await your orders. Romans ready for duty. At your command.
Tell you what, we'll just give them the normal order. I don't think we need to reverse row. They should be able to figure this out. We're way more maneuverable and fast than them. It's quite tragic, to be honest. Now, another problem you can probably hear when we zoom in is you just hear constant rowing. They're going like, whoa, 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 whoa. They're supposed to just do, like on a rhythm, but they're just going like, constantly, because it's another Sophia bug that was introduced. To be fair, Sophia actually cleaned up the game a lot, but that's just one of the naval aspects, probably the bit that hurt the most when they made changes to the game. Alright, so we're now going to see if we can envelop these guys somewhat. Tear them down apart. See, they can't really do anything. They're like sitting ducks, you know? The main thing they could do is if we manage to try to ram them and they initiate a board, we can't pull away and they'll hop over and decimate any unit that we have. So we still have to be relatively careful, but as long as we get off good hits, it's not really an issue, you know? They should be 1 or 2 taps and they go down.
Brave Romans to a man.
I want to see Cursor. Where is he? There he is. Oh, he loves it. Yes. They're doing the rowing normally.
Assault ships ready to attack.
All right. Trying to think of how we best do this. Because we really need to be careful pulling back once we start to engage them.
Support ships at your command. Support ships ready and waiting.
Let's try that.
At your command. Support ships. Fire on the enemy. Waiting.
Keep these two out to the sides. These two can come in this way. If the flag goes away, they're dead, so we don't have to worry about them. So that was easy. That's too easy almost, but they are transports, remember. Alright, fall back, and fall back.
Ships at your command.
Now, go forward. We won't be able to go through these, so have to be careful. Attack him, please. Rapid advance. Thank you.
Romans ready for duty.
You might be able to go for that guy.
At your command. Support ships. Move out.
This is perfect. Into him, please. Into him. Both of you row hard. Pull back. Don't let that guy engage you. Let's bring up these two as well now. Fall back, and I don't know if you can row hard backwards, but you need to. You can fire at will actually now.
Ships ready. Support ships ready.
Oh shit. Fall back.
Ships waiting.
Let's go that way. This is so messy. Oh, we hit into them. Okay, good. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Is that guy hit? Yep, but he didn't go down. Ah, one of our ships is being boarded. We're hitting it in the back, but it's not going to really do that much. Trying to turn ram into their side. If we could do that, that might be okay. Alright, looks like we took him down actually, so that's good. We saved our ship. I've been very lazy out on this side. I missed that completely. Fire at will. Come on. That's good. Alright, we saved that ship as well. As long as we save our ships, it's okay. They're about to break now. Excellent. Just finish them off. Yeah, continue just a little bit while they're still swarmed by us. I feel like it makes sense that they wouldn't get away necessarily. Alright, we'll just do one little pull back and one last ram here, and that should be GG. Is that it? Yeah, they're bailing.
Support ships ready and waiting.
See, we're trying to hit into them, but the wreckage of another ship that hasn't fully sunk yet is blocking us.
Our missiles await your orders. Ready.
There we go. Alright, heroic victory. Easy peasy. I'll save that replay for thumbnails. The first replay I have it here is 3-way gangbang from September 10th. It was a great battle with Checky Fish. Alright, there we go. Easy peasy. Both armies have been completely wiped out. And we have our heroic victory there for Papirius Cursor. Feels good, man. So, slaves. Why not? Anyone that was about to drown, we pulled up on board and we're going to ship them back to Rome and our other cities.
We still have a good wind.
Alright, so Papirius Cursor, we have leveled up his admiral skill already. Love to see it. So we have Daring Admiral. How many ships do you think my own presence here is equivalent to? -10 to the cooldown rate of all special abilities for the fleet. Plus 10% to the size of the commander's aura and extra authority. Love to see it. Alright, so we have Naval Marksman, Strong Helmsman, Movement Speed, Ramming Bonus, Maneuverability. That seems the one to go for. And then Melee. So Missile, Melee, or Ship. Go with the ships. Alright, great. Now, in Acragas and Panormus and Syracuse, we have removed all of the ports. I think to play it safe, just in case they can come across, which they can. Need to dock our port in there for now. We want to also make our way over towards the Epirots. So we're actually able to replenish here, which is great. It's -23 public order, that's insane. But it has to be done, I guess. We'll hop out with Lucius and maybe put him in patrol stance. They definitely can't get, I don't think, to Panormus. No, okay. Well, if that's the case, then we'll just stand somewhere here and we'll go into patrol stance and hope for the best. I don't think we'll be able to replenish, but... Oh, sorry, the way is blocked. There we go. Now it's +8 public order. Actually, that's not bad at all. In fact, that's kind of insane, considering we just took this town. Cultural differences -11, slaves -5, provincial instability -9. I guess the conquest is gone. Next turn only. Yeah, so here we have the fishing boat. So this is the fish resource. So like I've mentioned before, you know, these have unique resources, these regions. So this is the unique resource here. It allows us to build industrialized farms. We can't do that here. We can just build the regular types of farms here. But we have a unique one here, the blue chain, which wouldn't be available, you know, in other places, and that's fish. And then we can go down two different sides of it. So one is usually to produce more of the resource, and another is to produce more commerce, or whatever that might be. So it seems agriculture from farming is the same, actually, either way. And yeah, income from fishing ports. So again, that'd be pretty good. The fish market, we'll build 3 fishing ports here, boost everything. It's going to be great. But either way, we'll just choose that one as standard. And then, yeah, we could start doing all the fishing ports now if we want to get aggressive with it. I suppose we have to convert the main building here, so that's 1,500. This would be then fishing port, fishing port, fishing port. So just fishing like crazy. So all of these places are going to have their little buildings being built on the go. With the extra money that we have, we could go up to level 3, -4 food for the increased research rate, sorry. And then I'm just thinking, I feel like we should probably reserve some money for diplomatic affairs and political events. You don't necessarily want to spend everything, but it's tempting to build a couple of harbors. I think we should hold on to the money until we bring these guys back up, because they had benefits down here to reduce the construction cost, didn't they? I think. Industrial building construction cost -5%. Maybe nothing too crazy. Although -6 here, so yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm guessing they stack together, right? So this guy then had 8 influence, -6 as well. So definitely just want to check I didn't click the same guy twice. No, yeah, they both have it. So -12 construction in the province, right? So that's pretty good, because I did notice that these aren't that expensive. It's 2,205. Whereas up in Rome, or in Italy, it's 2,500. So, you know, about 500 more. Or 300 more. I just double check that, sorry. Is it only 300? Yeah, 300. I guess we do have other things. Anyway, getting way off track. Trying to optimize a little too much. Okay, so the next thing now is I think I'm going to risk a crossing. What we could do is use actually some of the money just to get straight up some extra cavalry. Equites Samnitici Mercenari. Samnite Hired Riders. 360 upkeep, 2,300 purchase. That's a lot. But I think it'll be needed. We don't have any cavalry in this army. So we'll take them on board. But we'll leave it there, because that's the end of this episode. So in the next one, we're going to go straight across and go straight for the attack. In fact, just to tease the hell out of it. You better be able to make it all the way. Yes, good. Alright, and that's where we're going to leave things. We'll pick up right in the next episode, kicking off with a battle.